Have you ever pulled one of these doorknobs on a hollow cord closet only to have it pull itself from the door? Well, I have several times. And actually, you can see the first time I had this issue, all I did is I rotated the handle instead of going up and down, going side to side. But now it's pulled out a second time, and now we're going to fix this the proper way. So what I want to do is open this up so we have access to the back here. And the way we're going to fix this is really simple, low tech. We're going to take a piece of wood on the back here, and then we're going to drill holes through, and then we're going to use these longer bolts with washers to hold the doorknob into place against the solid wood. First thing is we should take out the existing screws. Now I want to place my piece of wood, and I just want to keep it in place while I drill it in and get our bolts in. So I'm just going to use a piece of duct tape just to hold it up there while we drill and get our bolts in. And this piece of wood is just a spare piece of pallet lumber that I have lying around, but you could use any sort of thing. You just want to make sure it's not too thick for your bolts. And hopefully that will be solid enough in place for to drill a couple holes into it. So I've got my drill, and I'm going to use these holes here. And I'll carefully hold just the bottom here to help support it.
Now you can see that I'm just freehand drilling, but you can make life a lot easier on yourself if you use some sort of drilling guide, some method of making sure that your drill holes are going perfectly straight back. It'll make the next steps a lot easier.
Alright, so I got my screws and the doorknob. Now I just got to make sure that they snake their way through.
And this step right here is where using drilling guides is going to pay off big time and save you a lot of time and make sure that you're able to do this at all. When you have your lines perfectly straight back, then you can put your screws inside your handle and they'll just go straight back, and they'll have no problem lining up into the wood block that you have drilled as well. Now we're ready to add some washers and some nuts to the back end to finish this up.
Okay. Now this doorknob is solid as can be. The only thing I want to take a look at. Alright, so when I close this, the bolt now touches and scrapes right there. So I actually want to cut these down a bit so I can open it up a little bit further. So let me go ahead and cut these bolts down a little bit. Alright, those will be very hot.
So now all I want to do is tighten up the bolts on the back end here to make sure it's nice and tight and very solid before I can then just clean everything up, put the door back in place, and be done with this fix.
At some point this one might have the same thing happen to it, but it gets a lot less used than the one on this side. So if this one pops off eventually, I'll do the same thing that I did to this one.